Ooh, la 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 la. Oh, I forgot. I already hit record. Sorry, darlings. How are you this fine Friday? Of course, I'm sure you had a fabulous week. You know, at work, when I'm not having a fabulous day, I just tell myself, girl, you are fabulous. And then I slowly just let all the stress very slowly melt away. Anywho, for the two here that we're going to talk about, Lauren and David from Love is Blind's episode 7, season 8. Well, they also got engaged. I wasn't really keen on them in the pods, but they also got engaged. And although I'm still on the fence with them, for the two of them, because David is such a self-centered jerk who thinks women must fit his ideals based off of his plastic surgery heavy imagination. Like, dude, he has a dad bod. No offense. Excuse me. No offense, but he's like so ready to cut somebody down. Like, a contestant, I forget her name. He told her, "Oh, you're past your prime because you're like in your 30s or is already 30 years old." Or oh my goodness. Um, he's like his vomit-inducing attitude is just probably the reason why he's been single for 6 or so years or less prior to coming to the show. Like Lauren, for her part, she's totally smitten, unfortunately, with David, and I absolutely don't know why. I really don't. She's like, and she's like an overachiever, pick me girl. I'm just saying. Definitely not bad looking. She's a very pretty girl, but then it's like when she was trying to like low key try to insert some like sexy time talk in her conversation with David when she mentioned that she had gotten a bikini wax prior to their Honduras trip, but that the wax technician told her for like the next 24 hours you can't exercise or have sexy time. And it's like, I mean, they were clearly aware of the cameras there on their face, basically. And Snooty Dave was definitely not very happy with that, but he's just gonna have to wait a little bit longer. So the next time we see them is Lauren and David getting in the jacuzzi, and she's confessing that she's never felt like this before with anybody. But I don't know. She really strikes me like she would just like it would just be like passing out candy for her. Yeah, she just strikes me as that. Like she would overdo um the love bombing, basically. Like, yeah. And Dave with his shirt off. Yeah. Again, if it wasn't his like nasty attitude, then I wouldn't mind his like doughy bod. But because he came off with that nasty attitude right off the bat, it's just like, bruh, the doughy bod is just not doing it for me. I mean, you're categorizing women based off of your plastic views, but you're rocking this doughy bod. I'm just saying, okay? Jeez, don't throw tomatoes at me. So anyway, their first morning together, David is wondering if it's a woman thing to always feel warm or it's just Lauren. I think it's maybe just Lauren because for the most part, most of the women that I know, we all get cold very quickly. And Dave reveals that Lauren's quite full of water, that she has to go to the ladies' room quite a bit throughout the night. Maybe she's just like full of anxiety. When you're like full of anxiety, you're so nervous, you tend to like have to urinate a lot. Or maybe she drank a lot of alcohol. I don't know. Or maybe it's just jitters. And while, like, being poked at by David at the breakfast about how their first night went, Lawrence Lauren said, yeah, the first night was good, but then I was looking at her facial expression, and for one, surmised that, yeah, I don't think it was, because that expression was saying otherwise. Or maybe that was just me. She seemed to want to weigh her words so she doesn't offend Mr. Perfect across the table from her little fiance, David. I mean, they go on to discuss, like, attraction, physical attractiveness, emotional attachments, and how David has or continues to work on his approach with dating and romance in general. He says that he's even more keen to give a chance now versus scrolling left when he didn't find a person on Instagram attractive or whatnot. Okay. Uh-huh. Side note, I couldn't help but look at Lauren's calves and like feet. Like, just looking at them, I was like, is that edema? Does she have edema? Like, her ankles and calves just look swollen in that scene with David. I'm sorry, but it's just the hospital worker in me. So anyway, moving along. They agree that, like, their journey is going well so far, and David even compliments Lauren that she makes him so comfortable that he can open up to her so easily. And what better way to give him back the compliment than by dunking him in a cold water at the dunk tank? Hey, now, you got to take these opportunities as they come, okay? I don't think she's going to have much more of these types of opportunities as they move on along to the altar. But day 3 did start off really nice for them. They're on a boat, they're hanging out, and then, well, it couldn't always be all nice and sunny and, glowing, right? Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Because in her confessional, Lauren dropped hints that there may be trouble with David, as she tells it. David had asked her if she dated anyone prior to coming to the show. And by the way, darlings, it's been windy again in my part town, or rather, in these parts of town. So my allergies have been kicked up a notch or 2 or 3 or 10. Sorry, I know. I'm going to sound really horrible. So, I was like, what? What do you mean? Huh. And then Dave proceeds, like, they cut to the scene where Dave is telling Lauren that, he's not amused. Well, I'm using that term. And he said that it's weird for him that Lauren's exes is known to him. I was like, wait, what? Wait, what is going on? I was not expecting that on my bingo card. I'm like, so Lauren, she responds with, she dated somebody like a couple of months back from the show's, like, start, like before they went into the pods. Oh dear. David was not deterred though. He was like, he has mutual friends that he shares friendships with, the exes. So we'll just call the exes like ghost boyfriends. I mean, I don't know if we'll ever see them on camera, so I'll just call them ghost boyfriends or ghost ex-boyfriends of Lauren's from the past. And the most recent one that he's really not keen on happened 2 months prior. 2 months prior to the show. I mean, for her part, Lauren was like, that's because the casting process was so extensive. So she figured, you know what, if she sees someone and finds that that's a better option for her, that's a better suitable partner for her, then she just bow out of hoping to find a fiance on the show. Like, she won't even go on the show anymore. obviously that's the opposite that's happened because she's on the show. And knowing that, David's ego is hurt. Mr. Man, hello. He already has like an ideal look for his ideal woman. So, this this extra layer to Lauren and her past, oh, he is definitely not having it. He obviously is not having it, and he reiterates to Lauren that he's not had a girlfriend in like 4 years. So the timeline with her having this ex ghost boyfriend, whatever it is, being just 2 months ago, prior to them meeting, getting on the show, not yada yada, is very sus to him. Dang! If I didn't know any better, David is low key calling Lauren a yo. Lauren. He's low key trying to tell you, like, you're laying them low and spreading them wide, girl. Shoot. Low key. That's what he's telling you. He even mentioned that Molly, who had an on and off situationship 6 months prior to the show, which obviously was not something he's going to contend with. And he was just like, nope, total turn off for me. So, yeah. Wow. Look, Lauren, girl, you're not that daft. It's a huge red flag, I think, for anybody that you're bouncing around with someone 2 months prior and then professing about being ready to be married to dude. I can see his point. I really can. It's a huge valley from having, I don't know what, some ghost ex-boyfriend 2 months prior to getting on the show, and then getting on the show and immediately knowing that you want to be married. I mean, you probably already wanted that with your ex ghost boyfriend or whatever, but it really just, the optics just doesn't look good. That's it. That's that. And then again, on the flip side of that, on the other side of that coin, Love is Blind is a hyper vacuum speed dating type where more and more contestants primarily want screen time, right? To become influencers, to parlay this so-called 15 minutes of fame into something longer and more lucrative and more, coins in their pockets. I'm not saying that's Lauren's like ultimate goal. It's not out of the ordinary. Have you ever heard of the show Perfect Match? Hello. I'm just saying. So we are definitely going to have to watch out for what happens between these two, if they can overcome the ghost ex-boyfriends, or Mr. Dude is just going to throw in the towel and just let Lauren do her. I'm just saying. Anyway, darlings, that's all we have for those two. This is episode 7, Love is Blind season 8, and we shall take on, I think, one more couple, and then we're done. There's like a couple other couples, but then I'm like, yeah, no. I don't know. Yeah, no. Anyway, so remember, you're all kinds of fabulous. Remember to leave grace for others, but never ignore the red flags. And always journey in gratitude. My darling dears, I shall see you all in the next go round. Toodaloo for now. Bye.